Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-host today, Dan the Art Kelly.
We're here, Jamie. Don't worry.
Yes, we got online. We were just making you sweat it a little bit, but everybody, we are here. We've got a good show scheduled for everybody. Today, we are reviewing The Death of Captain Marvel. Dan, I know you've got it right there. I've got the trade paperback. Now, this one, I know you usually have that behind you.
That's the back cover for anyone that wants to see. Yeah, it's I don't have the first printing of it. Mine is the fourth printing. Yeah, the fourth printing.
Cool. Hey, Richard in the comments. Glad to have you join us.
What's up, Richard? And his yeah, thank you for that. And the book from CGC for Richard is finally. I'm gonna change this to rounded. I don't like the square one.
Sure.
I have the control, so I can do what I want.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
Dan
rounded it.
His book is finally on the way back from CGC. So as soon as Sal gets it, I'll get it from Sal, and I'll get it to you. But I know what the grade is. I forgot. I guess you're hearing this for the first time, Richard, because I meant to message you earlier and didn't. Your book is on the way back, so it should be at Sal's house in the next couple days. You let me know if you want to know what the grade of it is now, or if you want to wait until you get it.
I see from Codex you don't get an email; you get us mentioning it on the show.
Yeah, I kept meaning to message him, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I got to message Richard," and then like something happened where I got distracted to do something, and then I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot I gotta message Richard." So now you know.
Good.
Well, knowing is half the battle.
Yeah. And speaking of stuff we got scheduled for today, so we got the Death of Captain Marvel.
What's up, Boosh?
Hey, Boosh.
All right, you'll wait. See, you're like me. I'll wait if I'm getting the book back from CGC till I open it up to see the grade. I know Sal has to know the second that it's coming back to him what the grade is.
And speaking of Sal, I'm glad he got Variant Insanity back, and this time I had him send you the info.
Yes.
So I'll be like everybody else, and I will guess what comic has the most variants and how many.
You're welcome, Rich.
And then Dan, you'll have your 5 statements and right or wrong today. Of course, we'll be having a random panel of the week, and we'll be having someone join the F list. Somebody with some angles. He'll bring some angles to the F list. And of course, we'll have comic book news. There's some news about Deadpool Wolverine. There's news about the Spider-Verse. Yeah, tomorrow is when Kraven comes out. Kraven the Hunter. Yeah.
And 2 days later, it'll be on demand.
Yeah, sure. It'll be there fast. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I love the disappointment from CGC.
Hey, there's a new comic book series coming out. Somebody may be returning to the MCU, and someone's changing their companies.
When are you going to use that F lister I sent you weeks ago?
Wait a minute. I'm going to have to see which one.
What is it, Razor Fist?
Oh, yeah. Razor Fist. Yeah, going through, I got to add to the list. Yeah.
It's Kraven time. Yeah, I'm craving Sony make a good Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, good luck to him.
Well, I take it back because the Spider-Verse movies are good.
But the spin-off ones, just, I did like the original, like the Spider-Man movies. Just, Madam Web, I'm not too excited about. I still have not seen it. Yeah. I think a lot of other people are in the same boat as me, but we have not watched Madam Web or more.
Yeah, I'll watch it when they put it up on like Hulu or Netflix or something for free, and I can just have it on in the background while I'm doing something else, and occasionally look up, and be like, "Oh man, that's so stupid." I don't expect much from it.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, but everything's coming up. I'm making sure I got everything ready to go, and there's quite a bit to talk about when it comes to the F lister. So I'm making sure that once it gets down to it, I can just quickly talk about it. And then too, also with the Deadpool Wolverine, I'll make sure we'll talk about that joke.
And yeah, well, you got the last thing I just sent to the podcast thing, right? The Superman thing.
Yes, I just saw that. Yeah. So the new. Yes, it seems like we've been talking about it for a while, and time will pass. It will be weird when it gets here, and then we'll be saying Superman 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. And one day they're gonna have that electric Superman in a movie. It's gonna happen.
That's when you know. That's when you know that the well has run dry. Superman Part 86, Electric.
Yeah.
They'll have gotten past the mullet Superman. They'll have gotten past the black suit carrying giant Rob Liefeldian gun Superman.
Superman with the guns. Yeah. Remember, one day maybe we'll see Hulk with the guns too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Where he's walking around with the little glass. Well, I guess we kind of saw the Professor Hulk.
Yeah. And one day we'll see, hey, when you talking about the Rob Liefeld, one day we'll see big-breasted Captain America.
No. Not unless it's big-breasted Captain America played by like Sydney Sweeney or something.
Hey, she's in Madam Web's. There you go.
There you go.
We got a reason to watch it. Some might say 2 reasons to watch it.
Yeah.
Because of the great writing.
Yeah, that's just the great writing.
No. Not because of that, but yeah, so have fun, yeah. I'm excited for this episode. And next week, last week we had Mighty Mike Harbert join us in the Codex podcast for the first time. It was me, him, and Uncle Gary. And that was when we reviewed Wonder Woman, the Hikatea. Damn, we were wondering because a lot of people put Wonder Woman, the Hikatea on their top recommended reading for Wonder Woman. Were you one of the ones who did as well, or no?
We've done 2 Wonder Woman episodes, so I'd have to pull out my I'm checking what I had in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. So we did 2 of them, so I had to do 3 recommended readings the first time and the second time. So I'm almost certain, like 99.9% certain that it was on one of them. I just don't remember which one.
Okay, yeah, but
it's fantastic.
We all enjoyed it. Yeah, we all really enjoyed it. And the comic character of the week was why I actually got the book, and then later it's my turn to pick. I'm like, well, hey, I haven't read it yet. I want to read it, so I picked it. Yeah, we all enjoyed it. So
I'm trying to remember. I know I put that on there. I know I put the first story arc of Perez's run on there. I'm trying to think what else. I might have put Earth 1 on there. I'm not sure. I think I put on there like the beginning of the Rucka run from New 52? The first storyline from that I think I put on. I think I did War of the Gods. I said I'd have to. We've done so many of them now. We've done so many character of the weeks that I'd have to go back and look. That's why I have a thing to the side here on my desk that I've got a stack of, for all the interviews I've done. I've got like all the questions when I type them out. I've got them all there for each one, and then I've got another stack where I've got all of the sheets I make for doing character of the week with all the info for that. So I've got them there, and so I can always like pull it back out to reference it.
Cool. And who is the comic character of the week this week?
Tomorrow, this week, we are doing Ray Palmer, the Atom.
Nice.
And then
next week, I would put him on Identity Crisis would be my pick, or recommended reading for me.
But he wasn't really central to that story. I mean, the whole thing with him in that story was it was more his wife, doing what she did to try and get back with him. But as far as a story like centering around the character, like the story didn't really center around him that much. It was more of, it was him with the League then, but if anyone, I'd say more of an elongated man story.
Yeah, definitely is a big one. I guess for me, because I know too many stories of the Atom, so that's why that would have been one of my picks. But that's why I will definitely tune in tomorrow, because I'm going to learn about some recommended reading that I should do for Ray Palmer, the Atom.
Yep. Tomorrow's the Atom. Next week is Union Jack, which will be the final one of the year. Mike Harbour is going to be on with us for that one. And then the first one of the new year, when we come back after, I think, a 2-week break, we're going to be doing Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
There you go. Some G.I. Joe. All right. We've got that to look forward to.
Sal suggested that. And he's like, hey, you like G.I. Joe? You should do Snake Eyes for a character of the week. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do that after, whatever pick I had just made. I was like, hey, I just made Mystique. We did that pick last week. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll make that my next pick. And he's like, all right, I'll put it on the sheet. And then when we were talking the other day, he's like, hey, I'm going to have to do a lot of reading. I don't know anything about Snake Eyes. I'm like, you're the one that suggested I pick it. He's like, I know. You got 2 weeks to bone up on it.
Yeah, we'll see. Even Booge in the comments says, yeah, I need some Adam recommended readings. So tomorrow you'll get on Comic Character of the Week.
Yes. Looking forward to it. I think one of the all-time classic comic costumes, especially from the Silver Age.
Yeah.
See if I have one here that's got a good picture of his suit. Not really. I got my stack of Adam books here that are going to go in the spinner rack for the episode tomorrow.
Nice. And I've noticed that Captain Marvel, the Death of Captain Marvel, which we'll be reviewing, is usually right behind you in one of those spots. So
yeah, it's usually right there. Though recently the Doc Savage has been the one in front, but yeah, it's usually Captain Marvel in front because I got a few of those Marvel graphic novels when they started doing the series. The Death of Captain Marvel was the first one.
Yeah. So when I was like, you know what, I think I'm assuming that's a story Dan likes. Not Craven. Not many are, I don't think. But one day maybe we'll have to review Craven's Last Hunt sometime, maybe in the future in the Codex podcast.
I mean, I know we've talked about it here, and it's when we did the Spider-Man episode for Character of the Week. I know that one was picked. I think we did Spider-Man twice. I think that was one of the ones. I think we did that and then did the revisit, and I know it was picked both times.
All right. But Dan, it's been a fun pre-show. Are you craving to get to the actual show now?
All right, man. Yeah, let's do it. Which do you have a preference for intro music?
In honor of Tim, let's hit that groovy bass tones.
I do not know which one the groovy bass tones is.
Is it the first one?
Is it? Well, I'll just hit the first one and then we'll find out. Wait, which is the Codex one? I should have checked this before we got on.
No problem. And for the record, Richard, I see the Death of Captain Marvel. You said, is it Ron Lim? It is Jim Starlin.
Yep, it's written and drawn by Jim Starlin. So, all right, I found it. We'll see which one this is. All right, let's kick some tires and light some fires.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by Dan Kelly.
Codex.
Maybe in 2025 we'll get the grindcore intro, but this time we were stuck to the groovy bass tones. So I'll just start the show off by saying, everyone, this is my final episode of the Code X podcast of the year 2024. I do plan to be back next year. There is no firing me. The bullets just bounce off. I'm still here. I plan to be back in 2025. We've got a great show ahead. Like I said, this is our last time doing my last time doing the Codex podcast for the year. And today we will be reviewing the Death of Captain Marvel. There you go. I've got the trade paperback, and Dan's got the graphic novel itself.
Yes.
But before that, we'll be having someone bring an angle to the F list. When Angle Man joins the F list, we'll be having random panel of the week. Dan will be doing the right or wrong, 5 statements. We having variant insanity, and of course, to start us off, we will get going with the comic book news and the rundown.
All right, give me a second. I gotta remember which one is the wrong rundown. Oh, here we go.
So it has been announced. Well, some people are saying that Sony's Spider-Verse coming to an end. A top talent agent has said some there are a couple people who like those spin-offs, but a top talent agent has said that Sony, they've done their ones, they've done the spin-offs, and now it's not completely coming to an end because now they want to focus on the Spider-Man movies, which I don't think anybody's going to complain that they're not going to do more Morbius or Madam Web or any of them. And as Venom came to its conclusion back in October, so no more spin-offs. Oh, such a shame. We all wanted Smitey to get a spin-off movie. Alistair Smitey doesn't get a spin-off movie.
Remember when they were going to do the one about the wrestler, and they cast that rapper to play him?
Yes. Oh, good thing. You're right. It was the Mexican wrestler, and then they were going to have the Puerto Rican rapper play him.
Yeah, bring back to Sony. Sony should release. They should release a Blu-ray box set of all the movies of their Spider-Man spin-off universe. And they'll just call when they do these box sets, they'll have different names for it. They should just call it "We're Sorry" and charge $9.99 for it.
That would be good, Dan.
Because you got the 3 Venom movies, and Madam Web, Morbius, and Craven coming out now. And hell, I'll even throw the 2 Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies in there because neither one of them were very good.
Well, the one positive thing I'll say about Craven is I do want to see how the Rhino turns out.
Jamie just spent the Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics.
Oh,
it's a 14%.
Oh man, 14%. Are we really surprised though?
No,
I was thinking somewhere in the teens. Well, there's Morbid Time canceled. So no more Morbius. No sequels to Morbius. No more Morbid Time. But
I would have not minded if they did a sequel to Morbius, but that they really leaned into it being like a bad movie, like an Ed Wood movie. And instead of trying to make it what they did the first time where they tried to make a good movie and it was just a piece of shit, if they just really leaned into like we're going to intentionally make a cheesy bad movie. If they did that, I'd be all for it.
It would be better that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would be a classic.
Yeah, like I said, and even like Richard says, they charge the customer $10. He said they should pay us to watch that garbage.
I'm not gonna lie, if they released a Blu-ray set that was 6 movies with like deleted scenes, or like all the stuff they put on Blu-rays, and they only charge $10 for it, even as bad as those were, I would probably spend $10 on that.
Yeah, because like I said, you get $10 worth when you watch all the extras. You don't even have to watch the movie.
Well, too, they have sometimes it's just fun to have like a bad movie night, like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 thing, where you put the where you just sit there and like we're gonna drink and we're gonna eat popcorn. We're just gonna make fun of this movie.
Yeah. Just you have the Rise of Sharknado work on Morbius too. Yeah.
Yes.
If movies like Sharknado got sequels, there's pretty much hope for everything else.
Yes.
Yeah, but the other things it was put out there, the joke that was removed from Deadpool Wolverine. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then there is some good news. Not everything is being canceled, but the Fantastic Four, they're gonna have their movie First Steps in the summer. Not everybody's excited. But hey, for comic book fans, there's a new comic book series set to come out, and that is set to come out March 5th. It is a story about The Thing, and it will be written by Tony Felice, or Fleese, so Fleeks or Fleeces.
Fleeks.
Yeah, Fleeks, and it will be 5 issues, so that'll come out March 5th, and it'll be mainly about the Thing taking on a conspiracy theory in Yancey Street. And then, too, speaking of some movies, speaking of some will be gone, let's see, Bougie says, hey, they did quite a few Sharknadoes and made them believable.
I think you have a very tenuous grasp of what the word believable means.
I was going to say, Shark. Bougie, just everything okay over there. But, hey, we've heard that Chris Evans may be returning to the MCU, possibly in Avengers Doomsday, but will he return as Captain America or the Human Torch? We'll see.
I guess it will be a Captain America variant.
I'm going to guess Captain America variant. There we go. And also, Boom Studios is going from Diamond to Penguin Random House by July of 2025. So maybe there'll be some changes. Who says I did find the Sharknado movies entertaining, but I have questionable taste. Well, at least you like the Codex Station, so I don't question that taste of yours at all. But Sharknado, don't expect me to watch it. I've got a lot of movies to watch.
Isn't that the one with Ian Ziering?
I don't know. All I know is it's just there's the tornado and there's sharks.
And there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. They're saying there's a bunch of them. I think Danny Trejo's in 1 or 2 of them.
Oh, nice.
So there we go. But yeah, so with that joke removed from Deadpool and Wolverine, this show we try to watch the language because we're on earlier. So I'm just going to say clock, and you can take a guess what I mean instead of clock. The line that was removed is Deadpool had said, what, we can't even afford one more X-Men? Disney is so cheap. I can barely breathe with all this Mickey Mouse clock in my throat.
Male chicken.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, I think Ian Ziering's the one that's in those. It's like him and Tara Reid. Like, went for the A-list on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll say this, I'm not surprised that they removed that joke from I'm not surprised Disney was like, nah, can't do that one. I don't really blame Disney for saying no to that.
Yeah, I guess you can't talk about the mouse. Yeah. But other than that, I'm glad that they let it be the way it was. I loved it. So
me too.
I won't complain.
You mentioned about Boom Studios that they're going to Random House.
Yeah.
Mark my words. Diamond Distributors out of business within 5 years.
All right. You heard it here on the Codex Podcast and the Codex Station, December 11th, 2024.
It's funny because when I went to the comic shop, John, the guy that runs it, he's the one that told me that today, and I was like, oh man, no, I hadn't heard that. And I was like, weren't we just talking about Diamond like 2 weeks ago? He goes, yeah. I was like, yeah, when they messed up their shipping for a couple of weeks in a row, and I said it was like that they were just running towards the graveyard with shovels.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
I was like, and now this, I was like, yeah, it's not looking good for Diamond, which, I mean, as a Baltimore guy, that's where they're from, but still. Oh yeah, Something's Killing the Children is great. Yeah. Boom does put out a lot of good stuff.
Same here, yeah. Same here. I do love Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, back in the day,
is that what we used to do? We did the Boom reviews.
Yeah, Boom Thursdays. Back in the day. Hey, that got the one shots going.
Then they stole them from us.
Yeah, and then hey, they did. Wait, what happened with the stealing? They started doing one shots. Yeah.
Jamie said he sent it to him, and then like the next week they were doing them themselves, and he's like, "Man, what the hell?"
I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe I'm gonna have to message him like, "Excuse me." I'm gonna use my inner Karen. Excuse me.
You got to do the old Steve Martin. Well, excuse me.
It depends if I'm in a Steve Martin mood or a Karen complaining mood. Hey, sometimes you gotta mention stuff, and then you'll be like, "Hey, look at that! Thank you for giving me that discount
and
that rightfully deserved because this was ridiculous."
Boom needs to do a crossover with Dynamite so they can call it "And Boom Goes the Dynamite."
There you go.
I'm sure
Yeah,
Boom
that'd be
will
good.
hear that and probably steal it.
Yeah, they have a history of stealing. If only people knew. Just work with Codex. Don't try to steal from us. Yeah, Dan. So there has been quite a bit of news. I think the one that got the most people talking was Sony Spider Verse. The spin-offs coming to an end, and then
I mean, they all sucked. All right.
is
I saw the first Venom. I was highly disappointed. Didn't bother to watch the second two. Again, I'm sure if they're put on Netflix or something where I can watch them for free, I'll put them on in the background and watch them at some point. I didn't see Madam Web. I watched Morbius because I heard how bad it was. And I think that one was on Netflix. It was on some streaming thing I had. I
yeah.
watched it because I wanted to see just if it was actually as bad as people said, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so terrible." These special, this is awful.
I remember, when Morbius was on Netflix, I'm like, okay, what? I guess, like I said, I guess I'll watch it, and then I didn't, and then now I think it's already gone. But yeah,
So
flop
bad.
after flop, flop after flop. How long is it really going to last?
I
Right,
mean,
the
it's
money.
not that they're taking obscure characters. I mean, Madam Web's kind of an obscure one, but like Craven, Morbius, Venom certainly isn't. They're not like obscure ones, but
No, I like the characters. Yeah.
it's you're changing them so much to put them in these movies. And I agree with you, Richard. Like, why announce that 2 days before the movie comes out? Because the projections for Craven are not good.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you're right. It does seem like they're sabotaging it, but
yeah. I don't know why. Trying to figure out that, but
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like Warner Brothers when they were like, "Oh, Batgirl's completely finished. Yeah, we're gonna shelve it. We're just gonna take a tax write-off." Oh, or what's the like?
Just $90 million down the drain.
Yeah, like, oh, you got the new Scooby-Doo movie done? Yeah, shelf it, tax write-off. And what was the other one? The Roadrunner Coyote one?
Oh, I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, it was like a mix of live action and animation. It was supposed to actually be really good. And it's like, no, we're just gonna shelf it, take the tax write-off.
And Squirrel Girl, that was more of a pilot that got scrapped. I still hear that the actress is possibly going to be she's possibly going to be Squirrel Girl somewhere, maybe in Avengers, Doomsday or something, or Secret Wars.
I got a role she can play.
No more commercials. Just no more commercials. I mean, I'm fine seeing her commercials. I just hate all commercials, though.
But yeah, I mean, it seems like an odd time to announce it. Like it's like right 2 days before their the movie's coming out. So, but you also know too, like because I'm sure there's post credit scenes in all these that are like meant to lead to something else. So, the one at the end of Morbius was supposed to like tease a Sinister Six thing. So,
and Spider-Man 2 did that too.
Yeah.
There's the end. No, Sinister Six. Man, maybe there'll be like, hey, maybe this post-credit scene will be the Hypno Hustler getting his movie. Craven goes to a bar after his tough beating the Rhino, and then suddenly there's a Hypno Hustler playing guitar, and there we go.
Yeah, Richard, I agree with Richard completely. Like it's why you're sabotaging your own movie by doing this. Like there were already a ton of people that weren't going to see it, and now some of them that might have been on the fence would be like, I'm not going to bother now.
Yeah, they should do like those. A lot of those shows on like regular TV do. They get like any random company or whatever, or any random reviewer to be like, this is the best show of the summer, and then they posted it, best show of the summer, the #1 show of the summer, and they talk about it. So that's what they should have done. Get somebody that will say it's good and put that out there, not be like, we're shutting down. It's over. It was a failure.
I mean, the messed up part with these movies too is like they're not devoid of talent. They get good actors for them, like Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, Michelle Williams, Aaron Taylor Johnson in this, Russell Crowe. They're getting, Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Fanning, some of the other ones in Madam Web. We all know Jamie's feelings towards,
the award-winning Jared Leto,
the rock
star Jared Leto.
You know what? I didn't like Morbius. I thought Jared Leto's Joker was absolutely atrocious. But Jared Leto is a good actor that's been in some good stuff.
Yeah.
But they're getting talented actors to be in these things, and they're just, they just don't deliver.
Yeah, shows that it takes a whole team to make a movie, or make a good movie, not just talented. Because like you said, they've got talent. They
Well, it
just
shows that they need to
didn't
get
do it.
the executives out of the creative process.
I agree 100% because they're trying to make money. They don't know how to make art, and that's when art gets messed up. When you have the suits thinking they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Let us artists do what we do.
Yes, and pay us well for it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of art, one thing, Dan, that has a lot is when a comic book comes out, there's tons of variants.
Oh, what? You missed one thing for the rundown.
Which was that? There you go. Yeah, Leia, that last minute news. Look at that. The Superman. That was for Tokyo, right?
Yes, Tokyo Comic Con.
Yeah, Tokyo Comic Con revealed that. Well, I wouldn't even say poster, but that. Yeah,
It's a big stand up.
Yeah, big stand up. Yeah, something like that. It's pretty big. Superman. It says 2025. Because I'm sure, I know it's set to come out in July. It might be a little different for Japan, though. But yeah, there we go. Said more. We hope it's good. Some people are speaking of that. I'm glad you did show it. Creature Commandos came out. Some people were complaining, saying it's a bit too silly, a bit too typical James Gunn style. And some people were saying, hey, we like that he's changing these characters to make them more fun.
It depends. I mean, everybody hates on Kathleen Kennedy. Everybody hates on, the Disney Star Wars stuff, but there's been some good Disney Star Wars stuff. Like, there's been some bad stuff, but there's been some good stuff too.
Yeah, some hits and misses, So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan, have you gotten to check out Creature Commandos yet?
I have not, because I do not have HBO Max.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day you could do a free trial after the show's out and then watch it in a week. But yeah, so anybody in the comments, I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but like I said, some people saying too silly, too usual James Gunn stuff, and some people are saying, hey, he brought life and made these characters fun. So
that's what I worry about for Superman, is that it's going to be too goofy.
Yeah. So yeah, Superman. I'm like I love like the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and all of them, but it's not the same style I want for everything. Like I said, Superman, like to be fun, but also serious and inspirational.
You're right about that, Boosh. It's one of those things where, like, there are people that care about the characters, but it's like hardcore fans. It's not like they have the the popularity of Green Lantern or Flash or Spider-Man or something.
No. Yeah, Boozy was saying that he liked Creature Commandos, so there you go. That's a good sign. I thought from the trailer that it looked fun. Look at that. Richard's already above. He's getting a little ahead with the TMNT for Variant Insanity when we get to it.
So you just pull it out?
No problem. Dan dealing with some stuff. He'll be back in a moment.
Sorry, my daughter's telling me I need to replace the water filter on our water pitcher.
It happens. I'm gonna have to change I'll have to change mine soon.
So yeah, Variant Insanity. Sorry about that.
All good. Here we go. My last dance of the year. All right, so Variant Insanity.
Just like Venom.
Yeah. Oh no, man. Is that a good sign or not? But okay.
I didn't see the movie. I have no idea how it ended, and I really don't care.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are with you. But okay, Dan, you got the info for this one. So I'm gonna be like everybody else, and I'm gonna guess. And I'm gonna go with Richard. I'm gonna be like you, and I'm gonna go with the safe pick of saying TMNT.
I don't think a Ninja Turtles book came out this week.
Ooh.
I could be mistaken because I don't read them, so I might have just glossed over it on the shelf. But
so if it's not TMNT,
Ninja Turtles.
What was it?
I said Richard's going with Ninja Turtles. You said you're You're doing that as well.
Yeah, it's just a safe pick.
All right. Anyone else in the chat want to throw a guess in there as to what it is?
Yeah. What comic do you think had the most variants this week?
You know what? I'll tell you this. Oh, Booge says Transformers. That's not a bad guess. There was Transformers that came out this week. I will tell you this as a hint. The book that is on there for Variant Insanity, it is the first time that it's made the list.
Ooh, okay. Well, there you go. I wasn't going to be like, doesn't seem like you were thinking it was going to be TMNT. For that case.
So Richard, if you want to throw another guess out there, it is a book that has not been on this list before.
I'm just going to say Avengers.
Avengers. Okay. So Sonny's guessing a book that did not come out this week. Anyone else?
Man, I'm going to have to guess some of these books that I should have looked up before. What books came out this week?
My little brother told me when he went to a comic store, they have a comic just for that one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with just the covers. You're right, they do. It's Last Ronin. They put out a book of Last Ronin that's nothing but all the variant covers for it.
There you go. I'm sure it's a pretty big book.
Yeah, it's like the Bible.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, only volume 1.
All right. So anyone else wanting to guess? What do you want to do? You do the countdown, right?
Oh, okay. I can do the countdown then with the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the winner this week is Gun Honey Heat Seeker from Titan Books.
Wow, yeah. Now I know there's a book called that. Hey. I did not know what it was. And Richard's with me. He said no idea. Okay, are you familiar with this book?
I haven't read it, but I know it. Gary, it's a book that Gary likes.
Heat Seeker. All right. And look at that. And the cover says that Ed Brubaker said, the finest kind of pulp noir.
It's a book that I would like to read, but at this point, I'm kind of trying to cut back on titles, not add more to them. Well, you know what, Booge? Watch the show on Saturday night because I guarantee Gary will have multiple covers because they always put out the covers and then they put out the not safe for work covers that he can't show. So he'll put them up and he'll have it, cover up certain parts so that he can show it on there.
Okay. I can't blame you, Richard, that being on your pull list now. I mean, it is quite attractive. It's quite attractive to the eyes and may grab one's attention. To what story is that?
I think it's on every adolescent boy's pull list.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys want to take a guess as to how many covers it had?
Ooh. I'm going to say 13.
Oh yeah, Booge. He gets all of these hard case noir books. Said I like noir, I'd get them. I just having to cut back, but yeah, I guarantee he'll be showing this off Saturday. Yeah, the story looks great. All right, so yeah, well, I'm sorry, Sonny. What was your guess for?
I said 13.
You said 13. Booge says 19. Richard, you or anyone else want to put a guess in? All right, I'll do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Booge is correct. It is 19.
Round of applause, Booge. You got it with 19.
So, Richard, 31. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing 31 different variations of her.
Imagine all the other ones. It's all the other characters in the story.
I think I'll just leave
one cover.
I think I'll just leave this up the rest of the episode.
I don't think many will mind.
That's how you get the views.
It is. It's how you get many of the views. Dan, this doesn't happen often, but I'm going to ask if you would distract the audience right now while I take a quick little break. It's pretty cold here. I need to take a little break.
Oh, okay. Son, after seeing that cover, Sonny needs to take a break. So, yeah. All right. What's up? So, yeah, we are doing the Adam for Comic Character of the Week tomorrow night. We are doing Union Jack next week, and then we're taking a 2-week break because of the holidays. And when we come back, we are going to be doing Snake Eyes, the coolest G.I. Joe. Yeah, you're right, Richard. It was a tough week on variants. Champion of the world. Yeah, again, as I say, I'm trying to cut back on stuff, so I really don't even buy that many variants. Like a variant's really got to jump out for me to want to get the regular cover and to get a second one on top of it. Yeah, be back in 30 seconds. Yeah, he'll be back and he'll be out of breath. So, yeah, so I know that the Green Lantern had 3 variants that I saw on the shelf. Yeah, thanks, Booze. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's 3 characters that I really like. Green Lantern had a cool one where it was actually 2 covers, 2 variants that fit together, which I thought was weird that they should have done one for this issue and one for the following issue next month. Would have been better, but still.
I thought it was hilarious, Dan, you're like, right after seeing that cover, I have to take a break.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, well, did you see Richard said he'll be back in 30 seconds? I said, yep, and out of breath.
Toilet paper stuck to my hands. I'm not showing my hands. I'm all good. But thank you, Dan, for keeping everybody busy while I was gone. I'll see what you said later on when I rewatch the episode.
Oh, I was just talking about, what's coming up on the Character of the Week and some variant covers this week. I was telling one thing, I saw that there were 3 variants for Green Lantern on the shelf, and 2 of them were connecting covers that went together that showed almost all of the Earth Green Lanterns. But I was telling the guys at the shop, like, this is weird. You'd think they would have one of these for this issue and, like, the other one connecting one for the issue next month to get people to buy that too. But yeah. I got to the shop and Sal wasn't able to go today. I took a picture of him and sent it to him. I was like, hey, do you want me to have him put this in your box? He's like, yeah. I said, well, it's a good thing I stopped at the shop today because they had 2 copies of one of the covers, but they only had 1 copy of the other. So if I hadn't stopped there today, he would not have gotten it.
Out of luck. And one thing I do look forward when Sal is back is he will have his One is Slabbed show, or One is Slabbed segment again. So that's one thing, we had it back when he was on, and one thing to look forward to in 2025. We'll have that again. Sal having as many slabs. Dan. Yeah, you've got quite a bit of slabs yourself.
I have a few. I don't have anywhere near as many as Sal. He's got 200 something of them.
He is the slab guy. But something I know that you do got, and that's 5 statements.
I do. I don't think there's an intro for this, is there?
None yet. No intro for Right or Wrong at the moment. Before we jump onto that, Boo said, who is the writer and artist for GL?
Who's the writer and artist for GL? Currently, you know what? I've got my stuff that I bought this week sitting right here. I will tell you. It is. This is the A cover for it. Cool. Who cares? Because they're doing that that storyline, the Civil Corps. All right. The writer is Jeremy Adams. The artist is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Xermanico. Zermancio? I don't know.
We'll have to go on Google and type it in and be like, how to pronounce, because that's.
But Mark Spears was the one that did the variant cover that I was talking about with the 2 connecting covers.
All
right. So my 5 statements. Are you ready?
Right.
All right. Everyone in the chat, play along as well. Number 1. Craven will end the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe on a high note.
Right.
Really?
I don't think there's a high note for that for the Spider-Verse. I don't think the bar is too high to set it so
All right.
compared to what it is.
All right. Number 2. Marvel should do a show called Punisher Kills the Sony Universe, where the Punisher kills all the characters from the Spider-Man spin-off movies.
Right.
All right, so Boo says right for number 1.
Oh no,
Richard
you just changed it.
says false. Booge instantly changed his answer to wrong. All right. Number 3. The problem with Marvel Venom was high. Boo says right for number 2. All right. Richard also agrees with number 2. All right. Number 3. The problem with Marvel and DC Comics now is that there are too many characters.
I will say wrong.
You say wrong. All right. Number 4. Diamond distributors will be out of business within 5 years.
Right.
Right. All right. And number 5. Long live the Legion.
Right. God, they're always going to be fun to tease you and Uncle Gary about. So I do need them to be around still.
Well, we know they're around in the 31st century.
Yeah, so I was going to say, like, well, technically, we do know that they're around long after.
Booge and Richard both say wrong for number 3. They both say right for number 4. And right for number 5. Well, wow. So they're all in agreement. All right. So let's go back and examine. Number 1, Craven will end the Sony Spider-Man spin-off universe on a high note. That's right. He's a defender.
All right. Yeah. So I said high note compared to other Sony spin-off movies. That's what I'm going with. Yeah. Compare it to the regular Marvel universe. Not a high note. I'm just gonna say right because based on like comparing to Morbius, Madam Web, and them, I'll say high note compared to them. I'm trying to have high hopes for it. You know.
I'll say wrong because it's just I just can't see it being good. From what I've seen from the trailers and what I've read about it, I just can't see it being any good.
And many agree with you.
All right, number 2, Marvel should do a show called Punisher Kills the Sony Universe, where the Punisher kills all their characters from the Spider-Man spin-off movies.
We were all with it right for this one.
Yes. Wouldn't that be an awesome show? Like each episode could be him killing a different one.
They would be. It actually would be like entertaining too, but then also good to say, okay, now they're gone. But
so yeah, we just have to see how many episodes it would be, and then what order he would take them out in.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm really, Jamie would be with me on this one. Really looking forward to that Morbius episode.
Yeah, that would be funny.
As soon as he goes to do its Morbin time, Punisher would have quite a reaction to that, like a bazooka.
Which the Punisher himself first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man, so it would fit with the whole theme of Spider-Man spinoff.
Yeah.
All right. The problem with number 3, the problem with Marvel and DC Comics now is that there are too many characters.
Okay, for this one, I said wrong. If they start focusing on too many, yeah, it could be like an overload. But I just think they could do it in a smarter way. I think that's the one thing is just put it in a smarter way, and they could do it.
I'll save her, Richard.
Richard says to spare Sydney Sweeney. But technically, if she gets killed off in that one, she could play somebody else, a bigger character, in a better movie. Maybe.
Oh, she's got some big character to her.
Yeah, well, there you go. Guns versus guns. Or the Punisher.
See, I know you all disagreed. I will say one problem with Marvel and DC Comics now is there are too many characters. Just look at, The Flash. You've got Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, Wally West, Bart Allen, Max Mercury. You got Wally's now 3 kids. You've got the other Wally West from it's in Teen Titans or whatever he's in now. You've got I can't even remember her name. The girl that's like on the Chinese Justice League team. You've got Jesse Quick, and that's like 9 of them, and
Just
that's
the Flash.
And that's just the Flash family, and I know I'm forgetting some too. Well, see, and that's the problem is I think they focus on a lot. We don't need so many Batman and Superman books necessarily, but I look at it, back in, I'll say the 80s, into the 90s, there were a lot of characters, but there weren't like this ridiculous amount of them, and then you look at it now with the Flash family and the Superman family and the Batman family and the Spider-Man family and the Green Lanterns, what do we have, like 6, 7 some Earth Green Lanterns? Like, why do we need that many? I think that's, it's not that there's I think it's too many characters that are all the same, where it's like, oh, people like Superman, so let's have Superman and his son and Connor Kent and Supergirl. Oh, we're going to throw Power Girl in there now too. And then we're going to throw these 2 orphan kids in. Oh, and then there's the Superman of China, and then there's Steel, and then there's Steel's niece, and it goes on and on. Like,
man, it's a lot more than all the characters I knew, I was like, there's that many, but yeah. So
that's my point, is I think that there's too many characters, like, too many characters like that. And then, or look at the X-Men, they just launched, they just relaunched the, they just relaunched
Hulk and Wolverine are headed in the same direction.
Yeah, and Uncanny X-Men, you got like the 5 team members that have been around for a while. And it's like, all right, let's introduce, some new characters to be students. Okay, whatever. And you look at all these X books, and there's what? X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, Exceptional X-Men. And that's not including the solo books. That's just
solos.
And that's just the smallest drop in the bucket for how many X characters there are. And there's a ton that aren't being used. So that's why I say I think that there's just way too many characters now.
Yeah, I see your point. Like I said, I just think if you don't like them, you just ignore them. But I do see your point where you're making. Yeah, there's a lot of characters, man. For collectors, it's like, hey, let me get the Bat family or the Flash family. Then you suddenly have a lot of buying to do because there's a lot of first appearances and deaths and rebirths.
Well, the problem too is that they then have to devote space to focusing on all these characters, and then there's so many characters that they don't all get space anymore. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with unique characters, but like I say, my point is that there's too many that aren't unique. Yeah. All right, what's it? Number 4, Diamond distributors will be out of business in 5 years.
I said right. I think most of the comments were agreeing as well.
I take it by, the guy that runs the comic shop told me that when I was talking about, them just digging the grave deeper when they were messing up their shipping, and then Boom Studios leaves, and they've already lost Marvel. They've already lost DC. All they have now is indies, and Boom's one of the bigger indies.
Yeah, so I think they're going down.
Yeah. Like, how many damn Venoms, how many symbiotes characters do we need?
Yeah, well, Sal wants there to be many more. Well, I know there's Venom, but Sal doesn't mention the other symbiotes too much.
So I don't think the comics industry is struggling as much as a lot of people make out, but I think that their numbers are heavily padded by the amount of variant books they put out, which makes people buy multiple copies of the same issue, whereas if it was just one cover, they would just be buying one copy.
Yeah.
But just look at it like this month, like Green Lantern. I know Sal's getting the A cover, And I know he's getting those 2 variants because he had me put them in his box for him. So right there, that's 3 copies of the same book that he's buying. If they were just doing 8, if they was just like the 80s and the 90s, it would just be buying 1 copy.
All right, dang. What was the next one again?
Oh, the next one was number 5, Long Live the Legion.
And we were in agreement. Always got to have fun with the Legion of Superheroes. There are a couple dozen who do like them, like you, Uncle Gary, and then, some like me who do like to tease about them. Of course, like last week.
Legion to appreciate them.
Maybe next year. Maybe they could be one of my resolutions for 2025 is get to know and appreciate the Legion of Superheroes a little more.
Maybe that's what I'll have to pick for recommended reading when I'm on.
Yeah, you're all right. But all right, so yeah, next, I believe in the comments too, everyone was agreeing. Say along with the Legion.
Yeah, Something Killing the Children has a decent amount. But yeah, like I said, I think that's something that's helping prop up the industry is so many variants and the ratio ones and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Diamond with nothing left but the indies going to them. Like I said, Boom being one of the big ones, and they're leaving. If some of them start jumping ship at some point, they're just not going to be able to, to be doing enough. John at the shop I go to was telling me it was funny, like back in the day when it was, one distributor that did everything. The shops complained that, about the monopoly and this is bad. We should have more people. And then now that there's all these multiple, companies that do the shipping, he said now that he hears them complain, like all I do all the time is put orders in. We just need one thing. It's like, you can't make them happy.
Yeah. People complain regardless.
I do think variants are hurting the industry. I mean, I think with them doing so many of them, it takes the uniqueness out of them, because they do too many of them. And then the ratio ones, especially, I keep telling people those things, you're throwing your money away if you're spending a lot of money on them, because they will not hold value. No. Unless there's something significant about the issue in itself to begin with. It's, they're not going to hold their value long term.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I've been having a good time. I think everyone's been having a good time, but I think now it's time for everyone to have a bad time with the random panel of the week.
All right.
And the random panel is this. And there we go. The man on there says, time for everyone to have a bad time. As you see, his face is half human and half like golden. And his name is actually, when I looked up, he is Jason Morgan.
Jason.
Yeah, that is. I'm like, hey, you know what? I think he's a future F-lister. With a name like Jason Morgan, yeah.
That's how I'm gonna start referring to you, Sonny the Sonny Kruger.
Yeah, you can just say the Sonny Kruger. You don't have to call me Sonny the Sonny, but if it makes you feel happy, everyone, you're more than welcome to call me Sonny.
No, see, it's Sonny, Sonny, the Sonny, Sunny.
So there we go. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see if it sticks next year, or for the rest of this year.
I mean, you still got to work on your sign off. How many years in the Codex are you now, and you don't have a sign off?
Yeah. That last year I was like, maybe in 2024. So now I could say maybe in 2025. And yes, Bougie, Jason, that is correct. Yeah. We got our F-lister set, but I said I think Jason is set for next year.
Yeah, Richard, that's what I was thinking. The Ultimate Fallout 4, that 1B cover. That's the only one I can think of that has held value, and even that one is not going for Deviant.
Bougie says Deviant the Deviant. No, you know what? Sonny the Sonny does sound good to me, actually.
But even the even that Ultimate Fallout 4 has not held the value that it used to have. Like it's still got value to it, but not like it not like it once did.
Well, all right, Dan. We went through someone who may be on the F list in the future who said time for everyone to have a bad time. But now I think it's time for the F list.
All right. Sorry, I was looking at some.
Wow.
There we go. I'm not. Sorry, I'm not used to where all the buttons are. So.
No problem. Thank you, Dan, for taking care of the buttons. But the man joining the F list today is Engelman. And there he is. Engelman. Yeah, look. Hey, greetings all. For those who've never had the pleasure of meeting me before, the name's Engelman. I'm the gent who stole your space shuttle. And there he is. You see how he is? That's his angler, the little triangle he has there. That time he has mustache. There he is again with the mustache, but this time he doesn't have a triangle on him. But there is trying to put things together to find a new angle. And there he is, as you see him holding his angler, and then you see, yeah, he's screaming there, yeah. And in the background, you see him like as his regular self when he's not in his angle costume.
The one where he's in the background looks like matches Malone, which is Batman's like, fake criminal identity he uses to go gather info on all the skells.
And there he is looking to steal some artwork when he's in a suit and a hat and says, always looking for the angle. And again, as he holds his triangle angle. And there's another one. There is when he's in his regular suit. He says, Wonder Woman doesn't know we're taping her voice to be used against her. Ha ha ha. And then another man says, Angle Man, this angle of yours is the greatest. The Amazon won't have a chance. Ha ha ha.
I mean, if I was going to secretly tape Wonder Woman doing something, it wouldn't be taping her voice. I mean, her voice would be part of it, but there'd be other stuff too.
And here's the Angle Man proving why he's on the F list as he's going to look to escape. And he says, sorry, I can't stay to chat. And he goes to leave. And then he appears a little bit away. And he says, what's wrong with the angler? I wanted to transport back to 1978 and only ended up 25 feet away from where I was.
And let's not forget his sidekick.
There's Anglet. Yeah, that's Anglet. And yeah, so even the female angler still doesn't look so good or cool as she's flipping around. She has an angler too. And really, when you look at that triangle, it doesn't look. The artwork actually on the triangle looks a bit messed up. Like the triangles, yeah, not the best work on here. Yeah, so Engelman. Dan, do you have any guess about the history of Engelman?
So Engelman was a math teacher, and he was obsessed with isosceles triangles and things like that. And he was a math teacher because he was a failed architect, because his angles were always wrong and his buildings would collapse. And so he became a math teacher. And then he wasn't even good enough to do that. So he got fired from being a math teacher and had to become a substitute math teacher. And this enraged him so much that he went, ah! And he said, F y'all, I'm going to be a crime lord. And he decided he was going to steal really, really bad modern art. And that he was going to do pervy stuff taping Wonder Woman. And then he fought Wonder Woman, and it didn't go well. So he thought, well, I'm going to get a sidekick who's also a woman. And I'm going to get, what's her name? Anglet.
Yep, Anglet.
I'm going to get Anglet. And then eventually she did one or two jobs with him. And then said, man, you're lame. And she quit. And he was going, ah! And then he got his ass beat by Wonder Woman. And now he in jail.
All right. Well, Dan, there are multiple versions of Engelman. As we saw, there's the female Anglet, but there's multiple Engelmans. One of them, the one he's usually like this, we see he has his outfit on, is Engelman's real name, Angelo Bend from Earth 1. But the Earth 2 version, the one that is in like the suit recording Wonder Woman to hear what she's saying, he's just known as that one. He's just known as Angles Andrews, the Angle Man. That one's actually the first one. And that one was created, that Angle Man, who he's in the suit, was created by Robert Keniger and Harry G. Peter. His first appearance was Wonder Woman number 62 from 1953. But the other Angle Man, the one like that we see, other Angelo Ben from Earth 1, like I said, yeah, his first appearance was later on in Wonder Woman, and it was in Wonder Woman number 115 of 1960. So basically, Angle Man is a villain who's always using a different angle to try to defeat Wonder Woman, who he faces mostly. And he uses his angle, as we see, little triangle right there. But the other one in the suit, his power also includes charisma. Yeah, that's been marked as one of his powers as well. So the angler,
That's not a power.
yeah, so I'm like, how is the charisma a power? And I'm guessing he's not that charismatic. But as we can see from this picture, sometimes the angle or his angler is set to transport him to different places, different times. As we can see from this panel right here, it doesn't always work. Like he thought he was going to travel back to 1978, but only went 25 feet away. He's been around, and one thing that a lot of people don't know about him is one time he was a member of the Secret Society of Supervillains, and later it was revealed that his father is Vandal Savage.
Yeah, I'm sure Daddy's super proud of him.
I was going to say, other than having a non-F-lister dad, there's not much more to the Angle Man. Like I said, he's appeared in multiple Earths. He's just always kind of been a bad villain, a Wonder Woman villain who gets defeated, who never doesn't really do much good, and doesn't really make much of a statement. There he is. Like I said, you see there, he sometimes steals art, but everywhere. He's always just looking for a different angle to defeat Wonder Woman and does not succeed. And Bougie even said in the comment yet, the new angle he needs to solve is his character angle and name, and I agree.
Why did, of all the characters you can make two versions of, why did DC decide that's the guy? That's the guy we need multiple ones of.
There's actually, there's Earth 50, there's Earth 508, there's Earth 12, there's Earth 1, Earth 2, New Earth. There's quite a few.
Lame.
Yes, the Earth Lame would be the one for the Angle Man. But for me, I don't think he's the worst character, but he's not a great character. I think he is an F-lister. The Angle Man. Yeah, I mean, look at him. Yeah, he just has a triangle on him, and he uses the triangle angle, and yeah. And then too, like I said, there we go. He also listens to Wonder Woman trying to come up with the new angle to beat her. And of course, still failed. So, Angle Man finds his way. He teleports his way using his angler. He teleports into the F list for me.
Yes, he is in the F list. He will stay in the F list. He will die in the F list.
And maybe one day he'll use his angle, like in that one panel, he'll think he's going to use it to get away, and he'll just end up 25 feet away, but still in the F list. So that's the angler, or the Angle Man, either Angelo Bend or Angles Andrews. All versions of the Angle Man go to the F list. And like I said, suck.
Yes.
And now, Dan, it's time for something that does not suck at all. And that is our review for today. Today, we are reviewing The Death of Captain Marvel. I have it in a trade paperback, which includes the story, and Dan actually has the graphic novel itself.
Now, what is there anything else in the trade paperback other than this?
Yes, it does include, let me read it. Yeah. So it does include Marvel Spotlight 1 and 2 on Captain Marvel, and it does include Captain Marvel 34, which is where he fights Nitro, which led to him getting the disease, or cancer.
And just as a little aside, Sonny is right. There is a difference between graphic novel and trade paperback. graphic novel is a story that is published specifically as a graphic novel. It is one story. It is published like that. Trade paperback is a collected volume of many previously published stories like this, or when they put the trade paperbacks out, routinely for collecting storylines. That's not a graphic novel. That is a trade paperback. It is an important distinction.
Yes, it is.
But I digress.
No problem. And I will start us off with the credits. It is by, The Death of Captain Marvel is by Jim Starlin, like we said. Artwork and written by. It is colored by Steve Oliff, lettered by James Novak, and edited by Al Milgram, who was interviewed on the Codex station before.
Yes.
And the editor-in-chief was Jim Shooter. The Death of Captain Marvel. So we start off, like I said, another time Captain Marvel fought Nitro, and Nitro exploded, and he was exposed to some gas and radiation. And then this story, Captain Marvel, as you can tell by the name, what's going to happen, or what it's about. So Captain Marvel, he starts off, and he's recording his biography, his life story. So it does go over the origin of Captain Marvel and leads you to everything about him, leading to how he is about to die. And
that is not a bad idea, Bougie. We might have to do something with that.
Yeah, Bougie says to tell us some of our favorite graphic novels sometime, guys. Well, let me tell you about this graphic novel, and which is one of my favorites. So this is the story, like the Captain Marvel telling you about his life, and then he is talking about, it's everywhere from his origin leading up to where he is now, and he is dying. And they call it, when he's speaking with mentor son Eros, and they even say, like some call it the inner decay, some call it the black end, and they say, Earthmen call it cancer, and they find that it is non-curable. So Captain Marvel, he's saying, okay, I got to say my goodbyes to everyone. He speaks with his love, Elysius, and this is one of those stories. I kind of feel like Uncle Gary, certain parts I'm going to have to pull out and read, because this is, to me, one of the best stories I've, comic book wise, novel wise, one of the best stories dealing with death. And there's certain parts, like when Captain Marvel is talking with Elysius, and he even says, I think about Adam Warlock and how he died, and he was just, his life was filled with pain and confusion. And he said, when death came for him, he welcomed it as a friend. I'll not do so. I've enjoyed this life. It's had its bad moments, but it's had far more good moments. I'm going to miss it. I thought there's a beautifully written part. The writing is beautiful, how everyone is dealing with him and his, seeming to pass, and, people dealing with it in different ways.
That would be a cool metal band name.
Bougie, that does sound like a good metal, death metal name, Inner Decay. But yeah, so we see Spider-Man. It kind of takes its effect on him. And he kind of runs out of the room. Rick Jones is in denial. He doesn't want you. You could beat it, but eventually everyone comes together, and after some fighting, we can't take it, and there he is. Yeah, everyone is around him, and they're saying their goodbyes. And I did like how Captain Marvel is saying too, like, that he gets to at least be with the woman he loves. He said, I don't know. He said, I may be ignored by an entire ungrateful homeworld because the Kree didn't accept him, but he said, but I've a good woman who I love by my side. I've also many friends any man would value. And then it gets to the part where he's dealing with death. Thanos is by him. Yes, and this is one of the parts Dan is showing, one of my favorite parts, how they're saying to accept it. And when he puts his hand over Death's face, and he just said, like, I don't need the cover anymore. And eventually he accepts death. And, it leads us to what the story is called. For me, The Death of Captain Marvel is one of my favorite graphic novels. It's just one of my favorite stories, comic book wise, regular book wise. It's one of my all-time favorites. I come back to it many times. Like I said, I think it's one of the best stories ever to deal with death, and having people deal with it, having the main character deal with death and facing it, and facing about life and mortality and immortality, everything, and accepting death, and that it, as they even the characters say, will come for us all. For me, cannot recommend this story enough. I, Sonny Kruger, on the Codex podcast and the Codex station, give the death of Captain Marvel 10 out of 10. Dan.
We should get your Codex shirt to just say, I, Sonny Kruger of the Codex station, give it 10 out of 10. That should just be the shirt. The Codex logo here, and then that on the back. And then a silhouette of you doing this.
Hey, maybe I would definitely wear that shirt. And I would definitely use it because I'm sure there are plenty more 10 out of 10s to come. But this story, I've always loved it. I'm like, one day I got to review it on the Codex podcast. And somehow we hadn't got it to it. And Dan, I know you're a fan. I saw that you would always have it behind you. I'm like, you're the perfect guy, I think, to recommend and say, hey, how about we do it? So here we are. Dan, what are your thoughts on the death of Captain Marvel?
I mean, it's a masterpiece. It's one of those comics that transcends the medium, I think. Starlin did this because he was dealing with the death of his own father through cancer, and he did this as a way to kind of work through it. He had said it was doing this was cheaper than therapy, kind of like the way James O'Barr did The Crow to deal with with the death of his girlfriend. So yeah, it's great. You even see on the colors on the cover, the artwork on it. It's an homage to the Michelangelo sculpture. I know I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm looking at Pieta, if I'm saying it right. It's or the Sixth Sorrow. It's an homage to that, and it's hard to tell on here, but if you look it up, you can tell the colors on Death and Captain Marvel are different than the ones of the characters in the background, so it really makes them stand out more. I like the way that the story, he starts off where he's healthy superhero Captain Marvel, but then as the story goes, you see the cancer take its effect on him, which anybody that has known someone or been around someone that goes through it, even the people that survive, that's what they do. It eats away at you, and you become frailer, and you see that happen to him throughout the story. The artwork's great, the story's great. It it was when Marvel used to do these Marvel graphic novels, this was the first one. And, the only reason Captain Marvel existed was so that Marvel could copyright the name, because the trademark had lapsed on the Fawcett character. So Marvel wanted to have one since they're Marvel. And that's one reason that they have kept a Captain Marvel book in print, pretty much steadily, so that they could keep the copyright on it to keep DC from using it for, that's why they have to call their books Shazam. And one reason they decided to do this was because Jim Shooter just felt like none of the creators knew what to do with Captain Marvel, even though he was kind of a major character for them. No, outside of Starlin, nobody really knew what to do with him. So they were just like, all right, we're just going to kill him off and move on. But
he was a character who stayed dead too. We see all okay, they're dead, but they come back. Where Captain Marvel, his death.
Yeah, exactly. In the world of comics, where death means very little. He died. What year did they? This was put out in 1982, and here we are in 2024, almost 2025, and he has stayed dead. Which, he's a great character, but I think, it's good because death has to have some meaning. And especially for the way that he died, I think it gives him that meaning. There's, the different stages in it, that are done by different characters, the denial and the anger that Rick Jones has, the acceptance that Marvel has, all the characters coming and trying to find a way to find a cure for him. It shows what he meant to them all, but like I said, I really like how it showed his decay really as the story goes on. And there's not a ton of action in the book. There's a little bit in the beginning to show that there's something wrong with him, and then a whole lot of, not really action, just great storytelling. And then there's kind of a fight scene at the end that's, that's kind of part of his way of accepting, what's happening to him. And it's not a death where he gets, is this valiant death, where he's fighting in a battle. Like, he's just, he has cancer. He is slowly dying, and all of his friends and people are going to have to accept it. And it's very, it's very real world-ish the way that it happens. So, yeah, I think it's a masterpiece, and I'll give it, same as you, 10 out of 10.
As you said, Dan, a masterpiece truly is what the death of Captain Marvel is. Yeah, but you said, yeah, his death did and does mean something, at least. Yeah. So I think we can go on and on about it with its great, so many great parts too. Like I said, it is more of a drama. Like I said, it's not an action. It is a drama story, a beautifully written story, and the artwork too. I really do like the way the artwork, I feel, goes perfectly with it.
Yeah. I mean, Starlin's a master storyteller, especially when it comes to the cosmic stuff, and his artwork is always great.
Yeah, so this is one, as we say, a masterpiece that we recommend everybody checks out. The Death of Captain Marvel, from us, the Code X podcast. 10 out of 10 for the Death of Captain Marvel. All right, Dan, and next week I will be gone. I'll be recording a documentary at a band called September's Rest. I've got a lot to do. It's good things though, good reasons why I'm gone. But next week, Dan, it will be you, Mike, and Uncle Gary, and you will be reviewing
Nemesis. We will be reviewing Nemesis by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven.
So check that out. That will be a good one. I'm not too familiar with the story, so I look forward to watching it when I get to. Maybe I'll get to watch it live, but if not, remember, like everybody else, you can always watch it later if you don't get to watch us live. So now for me, that will wrap up the episode, but I will not be back on until 2025, unless I die, but let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that I stick around a long time. But everybody, the story, how we were just reviewing the death of Captain Marvel, and I really like it. Does make you think about life and think about death, and how Captain Marvel was saying to that he's a lot to be grateful for. He had a good, happy life, and I am a man who lives a happy life. I am blessed by God. I have loved ones. I have family. I have friends. I have dreams that I make come true. I have fun. I enjoy my life, and I hope. I wish the same for all of you. I hope you're all happy, doing good, and loved, and I'm going to be gone for a few weeks, but I shall be back. I do plan to be back on the Code X station, the Code X podcast, early 2025. And, I'll be checking us out. I'll be in the shows, checking out, maybe in the comments sometimes. And thank you all for joining us. And Dan, I'll let you take it away, because you'll be the man taking it away next week as well. But again, take care, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Just happy days, regardless of what you celebrate. Hope you're all doing good, and have a great finish to 2024 and an even better beginning to 2025.
Here's hoping so. And I'll see everybody here next week. Hopefully join us next week when it's me and Uncle Gary and the mighty Mike Harbor. And yeah, who knows? You never know what the new year will hold, Booge.
Hopefully no jail sentences for any of us, Booge.
Yeah. All right, so let's call it a wrap for this. I will see you next week. Sonny will see you when he sees you.
Next year.
Yeah, and we will talk to you later.
Take care.
Later.